Ladies and gentlemen, I am back for a tutorial that was requested long ago. And here to help me today is Jonathan, a good friend of mine. His YouTube screen name is Viper874. Jonathan is in town visiting family and has agreed to come over and help do the basics on how to pass 6 clubs between 2 people. Let's do it. To get started, it's important to make sure that you both know how to juggle. So right now we're just going to kind of warm up and make sure we remember the basics of how to do a regular cascade with single flips. That's it. Get a feel for that. You don't have to try to match your partner's rhythm or anything like that. When you start passing, that'll take care of itself. But right now, we're just warming up. And I do notice that we actually are fairly well in sync. See, it's just that kind of chemistry that makes all the difference. Alright, step number 1. You have to have a signal that shows you agree on when to toss the clubs to each other as you begin the pattern. A physical way of showing that you're getting ready to throw a club at your partner's head. That way you don't suddenly find a club zooming at your face because your partner thought you were ready. Plenty of times I've been caught off guard when a club is coming at my face, I didn't realize it, and suddenly I have to sit there and put ice on my temples for the next 10 minutes. So here's what we'll do. We're going to raise the hand that has 2 clubs in the air, then we're going to lower them. You see how well that works? And I was ready for that. Alright, you'll notice that what we're doing right now is merely practicing without any other clubs or trying to juggle anything else what it's like to throw a flip that covers the distance without either one of us having to really reach for it, either bending at our waist like this or trying to catch it backwards. It's a good time just to get a sort of a feel for how it's comfortable to cover that distance. They flip only one time as they come across and cover the space between yourself and your partner. I'm feeling that. Alright, you'll also notice that we're trying to keep the clubs fairly low. We're not throwing them real high, and we're not throwing them real low, which just makes it hard on everybody. So we're trying to cover that distance, keeping the club between probably the hip and a little bit around shoulder height. This is also a good time to ask your partner where he likes to catch the club. So he's nailing it exactly where I like it, which is right about here. As the club comes in, I like to have it land kind of at shoulder height. Some people prefer a little further in, a little further out. So it's a good idea to kind of get a feel for that and see what's comfortable. How are my throws?
Great.
Great.
Amazing even.
If you've never practiced passing before, I think the next step is going to be to try to see what it feels like when only one of you is worried about passing out of a cascade. So why don't I model that part? So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to juggle the cascade, and then I'm going to try practicing just a pass to you from a juggle.
All right.
All right, tell me how it comes in.
Perfect.
Perfect? All right, let me try it again. I think this is a good way, as I said, to kind of get a feel. It's one thing to throw one club all by itself, but then to throw it nice and smooth out of a cascade pattern, which is ultimately what you're going to be doing, it's probably worth drilling. Let me try it one more time. All right, your turn. I'm ready. Nice. Enough of the warm-ups. Let's get to it. You've probably, if you've been watching people pass clubs on YouTube, or if you've ever been to a competition and see, you might notice that people tend to stand in different ways. Some people stand with one leg out, and that way they feel more balanced when they're passing. I've seen people stand straight up and down as much as possible. I don't think it really matters. You think it matters?
No.
I think whatever's comfortable for you is what really, bottom line, needs to be important. Comfortable both in how you have to receive the catch and also what it takes for you to feel like you've got control as you're trying to release it. I think I tend to notice that I start out maybe with both feet side by side, but then maybe my left foot kind of moves out as I start to pass more. Bottom line, do whatever works. Another commonly asked question in regards to passing has to do with how much space should there be between the two partners. Again, I don't think there's any magic rule about that. There are challenges of being too close, that you have to get the club out of your hand and somehow have it do a complete arc before it covers a short distance. So I would think, if anything, err on the side of stepping back a little further. You can always elongate the passes if you need to do that. Play around with the distance, and again, whatever it takes to make that flip come across the pattern in a nice, controlled way. This is called a quick start. We're going to do a quick start every other throw. This is our passing hand, by the way. So you can just do that. Alright, as I said, this pattern right now is called an every other, which means that every other throw coming out of the right hand is a pass to your partner. And as we're doing this, we're trying to keep in mind where the throws are coming in, how they feel when you catch them, and what they're doing when they leave your own hand. So again, the every other part would be a pass, self, pass, self, pass, self. You get the idea. Alright, as we're juggling, some of the things that we're thinking about include keeping the throws fairly consistent. That is, the throws that you give yourself and the throws as you hand them off to your partner. So as I'm doing this, I'm not only keeping in track of where my own hands are, but I'm also trying to watch where the pass is as it comes out of my hand and flies over to Jonathan. First rule of thumb, not hitting your partner in the face. You're doing pretty well. You never want to miss an opportunity in juggling to keep practicing your skills. So if you're passing with somebody and one of you drops, yes, even with the drop, you can keep feeding your partner a club. Let's see if we can model how you might do that. The key is going to be keep remembering when you have to pass. If you can keep that straight, you got it made. And we're passing, and oh no, look, I dropped. Now I'm going to keep passing to my partner. And use that time. It's only every other throw going to him, so I should have time to bend down and pick up the club. And then we're back to the regular pattern. Ladies and gentlemen, it's time for you to learn your first basic juggling trick with a partner. It's called a left double. Here's what we're going to do. Out of a quick start every other, we're going to, at any time we want, catch one of those throws that comes from the partner in our left hand, and instead of throwing it to ourselves as a self throw, we're going to take it and immediately send it back over the pattern, diagonally, back to the partner as a lazy, high double throw from the left hand. That's a lot of words. Let's see if we can demonstrate that. There you go, pass. There you go, that's it.